Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. Today is the day 7 of our computer vision series. The link of the playlist is in the description below, so make sure to check out the entire playlist. Today we're going to talk about edge detection using OpenCV. So OpenCV provides us with three types of functions which we can use to perform edge detection. The first one that we have is the Laplace operator, then we have the Sobel derivatives, and then we have the canny edge detection. Today we are going to use the canny edge detector to create our own edge detector. So let's get started. Let's go to VS Code and start coding. This is the boiler code that we have. We have read the image and then we have visualized the image. The image that we're going to deal with today is of Mr. Bean again. So this is Mr. Bean. And now let's get started. So OpenCV provides us with a function which is called as canny with a capital C, which is basically our canny edge detector. So we have to pass the image on which we want to apply the edge detection, and then we have to pass two parameters over here. I am going to tell you what these parameters mean in the later video, like obviously in this video, but after this. So right now I'm just going to complete this function. So I'm passing two parameters over here, and I will call this image as image edge. And let's now visualize this image and see what we get. So I'm going to use the imshow function to visualize it. I'm going to call it as canny for now, and image edge. And let's see if it works or not. Okay, so this was the original image, and this was the image that we got when we applied the canny edge detector on it. And as we can see that it is detecting the edges for us. Okay, I can even change the values and see what happens. But before doing that, let's first understand what these values means. Now this is the documentation of the canny edge detection, and as you can see that these two values or these two parameters that I pass are the threshold values. You guys can go through this topic as well if you guys want to, hysteresis thresholding. So the first one is the minimum value, and the second threshold that you pass is the maximum value. Now how does this thresholding works? Any edge whose intensity is greater than the maximum value or the maximum threshold value that you pass is considered as a sure edge. Okay, it will be considered as an edge, whereas any edge whose intensity is below the minimum value threshold, it will not be considered as an edge, it will be discarded. Now what about the edges? So this means that any edge below this red line, it will not be considered as an edge, but any edge whose intensity is above this blue line will be considered an edge. Now what about the edges whose intensity lie between these threshold values, between the maximum value and the minimum value? Just like we wrote 100 and 200. So what about some edge whose intensity is 150? What happens to that? So that depends all upon the connectivity. It can either be an edge or a non-edge. Now for example, both the C and the B edge lies within the range, right? But since C is connected to a shore edge, these two are the shore edges. Since the C edge is connected to a shore edge, that is why C will also be considered as an edge, even though it is between the maximum value and the minimum value thresholds. B is also between the maximum value and the minimum value thresholds. But since B is not connected to any shore edge, which are these shore edges, that is why B will be discarded and B will not be considered as an edge. So this is how the thresholding works. And honestly, how to decide what values to put over here is through trial and error. Okay, now instead of 150, 100 and 250, I'm going to write 150 to 250 and like see happens. What's the difference? I'm still getting a pretty good edge detector, right? Okay, now let's put some bigger values here. Let's put 300 and let's put 500 over here and see the difference. Okay, so a lot of the useful edges are now lost. Like it is unable to detect this area. It is also unable to detect some parts of the hair and all. So why is that so? Because we put a bigger threshold value for the minimum as well as for the maximum. So the best way to decide what values are to be used here, it's through trial and error. So I'm going to go with 100 and 200 because I used the process of trial and error and I found out that this one gives the best result to me. Okay, now there's another thing that we should discuss, which is called as the morphological transformations. Now, morphological transformations is not related to edge detection. It's a completely different thing. But since we were talking about edge detection, so I thought that since this topic is also a little bit related, so we should talk about two of the most important functions in this that are related to edge detection. So one of them is called as dilate and the other one is called as erode. Okay, so first I'm going to use the OpenCV function dilate, and I'm going to dilate the image. So first I have to pass the name of the image, which is the image edge, of course, and then I have to pass a numpy array. So to do that, I will first import numpy as np, and now I'm going to create a numpy array. So I'm going to create an array that has ones. So now I have to first tell the size of the numpy array. So for now I'm going to keep it as 5 by 5. Then I have to tell the data type to it. So that is going to be integer 8. I am going to save this in a variable. I'm going to call it as image edge dilate. And now let's visualize this, and then I'll show you the documentation of it as well. I'm going to call it as dilate, and over here I'm going to print the dilated image. And let's run this image and see the difference. Whoa, so this was the original image that we have. This was the canny edge detector image, and this is the image that we got when we applied the dilate function on our image. So if you can see that this function has sort of applied a border or another line around the edges that we have, or simply speaking, it has just dilated your edges. It has just dilated your image. And how much it dilated? The size that you entered over here, the size of the numpy array that you entered over here. So instead of 5 by 5, I'm going to do 3 by 3, because as we could see, the dilation was too much. So yeah, so now we did 3 by 3, and it looks better. It looks better than the one we had when we did 5 by 5. So this is how dilation works, and I'm also going to show you the documentation of it. So this is the morphological transformations, and this is the original image, and when we apply dilation to it, as you can see, it thickens. Okay, the edges dilate. Okay, now we're going to talk about another morphological transformation function, which is called as erode. Now, erode is kind of the opposite to dilate. So I'm just going to copy all this and I'm going to paste it over here. But instead of the image edge, I'm going to use the dilated image that we have, so that it can erode the edges of the dilated images, and you can see the difference as well. So I'm going to call it as image edge erode, and now I'm going to visualize it as well. I'm going to call it as erode, and over here I am also going to pass erode. Oh, I misspelled. Okay, so now let's run it and see the difference. Whoa, so many images, right? So let's go through them one by one. This was the original image that we have. This was the canny edge detector that we have. This was when we dilated the image. And now we apply the erode function on our dilated image, and this is what we got. And if you guys can see, this eroded image is similar to the one that we had originally when we applied the canny edge detector. Why? Because we are sort of reversing the effect of dilation by applying the erode function on the dilated image. It's not exactly similar, but the intensity or the thickness of the edges is similar to the one that we had in the canny edge detector. So these two are kind of similar in that respect, and you guys can see the documentations of it as well. If this is the original image, this is the dilated image, and this is the original image, and this is the image that we have when we apply the erode function on it. Okay, so as you can see, the edges are now thinner as compared to when we apply dilation on it or the original image. So that was all about today's lecture. I hope you guys understood the lecture. Make sure to give it a like and stay tuned for the next one. See you guys in the next one. Bye bye.